I'm currently working with Japanese students and colleagues, and despite studying in Japan, living with a Japanese family, and following every custom I could, I still make cultural mistakes at work that makes meetings a little awkward. And one time, we want to get into it. I'm Dr. Key, and I've spent over 20 years working across cultures, and now I am breaking down 5 cultural mistakes I made while working with my Japanese colleagues and students. So if you know someone who's about to work with an international team or moving to Japan, send them this video so they won't embarrass themselves like I did. Mistake number 1, I feel the silence. So here's what happened. I'm in a meeting with my Japanese coworkers and I finished presenting a proposal, right? And nobody says anything. It's just silent. And I'm sitting there like, oh no, they hated it. They're being polite, but they hated it. So what do? I start talking again. I start explaining more, adding more details, basically repitching the whole thing because the silence was making me uncomfortable. Now, here's the thing I didn't understand about Japanese work culture. Silence after a presentation isn't rejection, it's respect. They're considering what I said, and when I jumped back in and started talking over their thinking time, what I communicated was, I don't trust you to process this, and I'm not confident enough in my pitch to let it stand on its own. Because in US culture, silence is a problem. If someone's quiet, we think they're disengaged or unhappy, so we feel it. We over explain, we talk in circles. But in Japan, and honestly, in a lot of East Asian cultures, silence is where the real communication happens. It's where people weigh your words, consider the response, and show that they're taking you seriously. Okay, mistake number 2. This one is sneaky because you think you're getting confirmation, but you're not. So I'm working with a group of Japanese students on a collaborative project, and I asked them, do you think you can move forward with this approach? And they say yes. So boom, we're good, right? Wrong. Because in Japanese culture, yes often means, yes, I hear you, not, yes, I agree with you. Just, I'm acknowledging that you spoke. And this is a great example of what communication researchers call high context versus low context communication, also known as indirect and direct communication. Because in low context cultures like the US, Germany, Australia, people say exactly what they mean. If I say yes, I mean yes. If I say no, I mean no. But in high context cultures like Japan, much of the Middle East, parts of Latin America, the real meaning is in the context, the tone, the body language, and what's not said. So when the students said yes, they were actually saying, yes, we understand your approach and we will consider it and get back to you, which they did with a no delivered through a different approach 3 weeks later. Mistake number 3, the business card. So I'm working at a networking event with Japanese colleagues visiting from a partner institution, and we're doing the card exchange. And look, I know you are supposed to use both hands when accepting the business card. I knew that. So here I am. I received their business card with both hands. I look at it, I nod, and then I put it in my pocket. And I moved on. Now, in the US, that's completely normal. Someone hands you a card, you glance at it, you pocket it, no big deal. But in Japan, the business card is an extension of the person who gave it to you. It represents them, their role, their company, their identity. So when I put that card in my pocket without really studying it, what I communicated was, I don't really care about who you are, which is obviously not what I meant. But that's how they took it. Now, the proper way to handle a business card is to receive it with both hands. Again, I got that part right. Study it carefully for several seconds. Acknowledge something about it, maybe the person's title or company, and then place it respectfully on the table in front of you for the duration of the meeting, or place it in business card holder, not your pocket. Now, before I get into mistake number 4, if you're watching this and thinking, okay, I had no idea about any of this, don't worry. Being aware of a culture and navigating it professionally are 2 very different things. So if you want more real-world stories about navigating cultural differences and working in international spaces, the stuff they don't teach you in school, make sure you like this video and follow me because I'm going to keep sharing the mistakes I've made so you can skip the painful part. All right, mistake number 4. So, mistake number 4 is all about hierarchy. And this one's hard for Americans because we're taught that everyone's equal, right? We walk into a room, we shake everyone's hand, we're friendly, and basically treat everyone the same. But in Japan and in many cultures with what researchers call high power distance, hierarchy is everything. Who speaks first, who sits where, who you address directly versus through a mediator, all of this matters. Power distance is one of the cultural dimensions that basically measures how much a culture accepts that power is distributed unequally. And in high power distant cultures like Japan, many Middle Eastern countries, parts of Latin America, there's a deep respect for hierarchy and rank. Whereas in low power distance cultures like the United States, Australia, Scandinavia, people prefer a more equal approach. And when I walked into that meeting with the visiting delegation from Japan and I started treating everyone as equal, I thought I was being confident and respectful, but it was actually being read as naive at best and disrespectful at worst. I needed to acknowledge the senior person first, direct my key points through the appropriate channels, and show that I understood the structure of their organization before trying to operate within it. Last mistake, and honestly, this might be the one that caused the most damage. So, after a great initial meeting with the Japanese delegation, I wanted to keep things moving, right? No, time is money. So, I'm sending follow up emails, I'm requesting timelines, I'm asking for the next step. Because in the US business culture, momentum is everything. You have a good meeting, you capitalize on it, and you push it forward. But with my Japanese coworkers, and again, this applies to many relationships based cultures, business doesn't happen until trust is established. And trust isn't established in one meeting. It's not established in two meetings. It's built over time through shared experiences, through consistency, through demonstrating that you're in this for the long haul. So I was treating this like a transaction, and they were looking for a relationship. I wanted to talk business. They wanted to understand who I was as a person. And this isn't just a Japan thing, this is true across many cultures. The relationship comes first, always. So here's what I do now that I've experienced these cultural mishaps. One, let the silence breathe. When I finish presenting, I stop. I let them think and let the silence do the job. Two, I stop taking yes at face value. I ask clarifying questions. I look for context around the word, not just the word itself. Number three, I treat every business card like it's a person because in many cultures, it is. Number four, I learn the hierarchy before I walk into the room. Who's the decision maker? Who's the influencer? And who do I address first? Number five, I invest in the relationship before I push for the transaction, always. Because remember, the goal isn't perfection, the goal is awareness. So I want to hear from you. Have you ever made a cultural mistake in a professional setting? What happened? Drop it in the comments because honestly, we all learn faster when we share the embarrassing stuff. And make sure you like this video and follow me for real life stories about working in international spaces and cultural shifts. I'll see you in the next one.